Okay, so the wheel bearing needs changed, and what we need to do is we need to take this big nut off the axle. It's actually a 35 millimeter, so it's usually best to do that when it's on the ground so your wheel doesn't turn. Alrighty. 2004 Explorer. See how well that moves? That's too much play, no matter which way you move it. So, we need to remove the emergency brake cable, pull this bolt out of the upper control arm. The control arm's got to come off because it needs to be replaced. It's also in bad shape. It moves around a lot. And this bolt down here, and this link arm back here, stabilizer arm. So to get the emergency brake cable off, we're just going to pull all the way back and slide it down. And then unhook the top. And that's all there is to that. Tuck that out of the way. Now I'm going to pull the bolt out of that and bolt out of the bottom here, and then I guess this thing's ready to come apart. And as far as taking the top apart, it's a matter of giving it a few good whacks. She'll pop right out. As you can see, it's coming up there now. See that? Okay. Pull the bolt out of the bottom here, and the one on the other side. Now I'll show you a little more. Okay, the bottom bolt here is giving me some resistance, so I'm actually putting a strong arm on it, and a pipe. Pipe's going to give me more leverage for braking this sucker. There we go. Now we should be able to put the gun on it. Let's see if the other side is turning or not. Look down in there. Yeah, so now we're going to need a wrench in there as well. Okay. Okay. Nuts off. Now I'll take the bolt out. There we go. Just a little bit of hammering, got it off. Now that's the bottom one. Top one's out. Now we got to unhook this link here. There we go. It bolts out of the bottom here. Okay. So tie up your caliper. Destroy your camera at the same time. And then when you get done doing that, get down here and just tap on this bar. It'll pop right off. Get a swing at it. There we go. That's all there is to that. Move that out of the way. The top is ready to come off as well. A little bit of rust. Tap this out of the way. That's all loose. Now everything should just fall right out. Pop that sucker out of there. Okay, I'll show you a little more once I get that out. Okay, as soon as I pulled back on the axle, it fell right to the ground. So there you go. Hardly anything at all to get that out of there. Now we're going to replace this bearing, so we got to pull a clip out of here. And then we're going to punch this out and pop a new bearing in. Okay, so we got to pull the lock ring out of here. So a pair of these are nice. They work really well. Okay, that's what it looks like when it's out. Now I'm going to punch the center out. Okay, to pop the center out of that, I got half of it out. My tool of choice was what I had in stock. Was this gear puller. A little pressure on it, hit it with a hammer, and that started it up here. And then I took a piece of pipe right here, and I set it on the top, and I hit it with a sledgehammer. One tap at a time, and it came out. But it half came out, so now I'm going to try to pull the rest out here, like with this. Okay, got that piece off. Now I'm going to work on this one here. Okay, with my combination of tools, I managed to get everything out. Now what I did with this is I took a cutting torch and I just put a slice in here to help loosen it up a little bit, and then that That eventually came right out. Didn't take much tapping to get that out. I used my pneumatic gun to take that out with. It's a little hammer gun. Yes. And I just put it inside there like that, and it just popped it right out. And then what I did was I put the bearing back on and hammered it all the way around. Now you would hammer around the edge here, and then I put the old bearing sleeve on top of it and hammered it the rest of the way in. Now I'm actually going to put this snap ring back in place. Clean it up a little bit. There's my reminder, so gotta go. Okay, I got the new wheel bearing in. It's all ready to go. Back in place. A lot of work. Now we gotta get this thing out of here. The upper control arm, there's a bolt in there I gotta get at. And there's a couple in the back there. So I think I'm gonna pull the spare tire and see what I can see up in there.